Hello, Seawolves, and welcome back to another edition of the Stony Brook Newsbreak. My name is Irene Yamonkol, and I will be your anchor for today. We begin with a story that just came in. President Biden welcomed President-elect Donald Trump just in the Oval Office, a tradition that signals the peaceful transfer of power, which Trump himself declined to participate in 4 years ago. The meeting comes 4 years after Trump refused to concede his 2020 election loss to Biden and instead lobbed wild and baseless conspiracy theories to try to overturn the election, and his remarks on January 6, 2021, urging his supporters to march to the Capitol as Congress was certifying the election results. Trump also plans to meet with Republican lawmakers as they focus on his day one priorities and to prepare for a potentially unified government with GOP sweep of power in the nation's capital. His arrival with the Republican congressional leadership elections could put his imprint on the outcome. House Republicans will also hold leadership elections today, where Speaker Mike Johnson is expected to be reelected as leader, although some conservatives are discussing whether to challenge Johnson in the speaker race.
We will be ready on day one. We are prepared this time. And as we wind down the 118th Congress, we'll be ready to take the ball and run full speed in the 119th Congress that begins in January.
Special Counsel Jack Smith, pursuing 2 investigations into President-elect Trump, is set to step down before the new administration takes power. The New York Times reports that Smith plans to finish his work and resign alongside his team before January. Smith also plans to file a report that summarizes his work and decisions to the public, since his investigations will no longer go to court. The special counsel is investigating Trump's effort to overturn the results of the 2020 election, as well as his mishandling of classified documents. The Justice Department has a long-standing policy that a sitting president cannot be prosecuted for a crime. Let's take a look at what Trump's second-term cabinet may look like. In an earlier statement, the president-elect announced that John Ratcliffe will serve as his CIA director. The Texas conservative previously served as the Director of National Intelligence for a year during Trump's first term. During his service, Ratcliffe publicly released unverified information about Russia's influence in the 2016 presidential election, despite the objection of members of the intelligence community. According to sources close to the PICs, President-elect is expected to name Marco Rubio, Florida Senator, as Secretary of State. Trump has also named North Dakota Governor Kristi Noem as Chief of Homeland Security and immigration hardliner Tom Homan as border czar. Trump has previously mentioned Florida Representative Mike Waltz for National Security Advisor. President-elect's latest picks align with his tough stance on immigration in China. Although Noem does not represent a border state, she has a long history of taking hardline positions on immigration. As governor, Noem sparred with indigenous tribes in her state, suggesting that tribal leaders were focusing more on benefiting from drug cartels than their own children. Comments that led to her being banned from some tribal lands. As DHS secretary, Noem would be in charge of a department that is involved in tribal issues.
Now, I think President Donald Trump is a breaker and a builder. I think he's both of them.
Make no mistake, an invasion of our country is happening, and our border is a war zone.
Senator Rubio is also one of the most outspoken American lawmakers against Beijing. He has sought restrictions on Chinese firms' ability to operate in the United States, as well as punishment for China over its numerous human rights violations. Experts have expressed the need for the U.S. to prepare for a potential conflict with Beijing in the Asia-Pacific.
The bottom line is that what this election is going to be about, when people go vote, they're going to be voting on 3 things that are critical to them. How much does it cost to live in this country, and can you afford the things that people work hard to be able to afford? Because over the last 4 years, they have not. Do you feel safe and secure? And the answer is no. People do not feel safe and secure when you have dangerous criminal elements entering this country across the open border that Kamala Harris allowed. And number 3 is, how close is this country to being dragged into some sort of global conflict?
Ratcliffe, Rubio, and Noem's appointments require Senate confirmation, while Waltz and Homan's do not. However, the path of confirmation is expected to run smooth, as the GOP now has control of the Senate. President-elect Donald Trump announced on Tuesday night that Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk will lead the newly proposed Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, alongside American entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. The new commission's goal is to reduce government spending, saying earlier on the campaign trail that the commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months, and that it will save the government trillions of dollars. The department's acronym Doge is a reference to the Elon Musk-backed cryptocurrency Dogecoin, which he has long promoted on X. So much so that after Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election on November 5th, the currency witnessed a 145% growth in value. In a statement regarding Musk and Ramaswamy's appointments, Trump says Musk and Ramaswamy will dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies.
Money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
Following the announcement, that Tesla boss said that a lot of people who are taking advantage of the government are going to be upset about this, adding that he's going to need a lot of security. 4 Idaho women began testifying on Tuesday after claiming that they were denied medically necessary abortions, seeking to clarify the state's medical exception for the banned procedure. The women were denied the procedure despite having non-viable pregnancies, leaving them with no choice but to travel out of state. The suit, filed last year, argues that the women suffered unimaginable tragedy and health risks due to Idaho's abortion bans, and that Idaho doctors lack sufficient guidance about when they can perform the procedure without risking jail time. Idaho's abortion laws make the procedure a felony at any stage in the pregnancy, with exception to rape, incest, or if it threatens the life of the mother. The women are challenging the state to clarify the cases of non-viable pregnancy, saying that the law does not account for high risk of miscarriage or fetuses with little to no chance of survival.
My understanding was it would be best to do it in a hospital setting, and we also wanted to meet our son. That was really important to us. So I had an induction.
Were you able to obtain that care in Idaho?
No.
The decision is currently left up to the discretion of the doctor, but the women say that they were turned away out of fear, not medical evaluation, as Idaho doctors who perform an abortion outside of the listed exceptions face up to 5 years in prison. The state claims that the current wording of the law is unconstitutional, and it is concerned that rewriting it would clear the way for abortions without any health issues. Back to the commuters, Amtrak service between Penn Station and New Haven is suspended in both directions after the transformer made a major track fire on Tuesday. Massive fire was made more difficult by drought conditions and heavy winds. Fire flames was seen shooting up into the air onto the busiest railroads in the country. The FDNY says a transmitter exploded near the track. The other fire occurred in a 60,000 square foot auto parts warehouse on Brogsdale Avenue. The fire officials are investigating the cause of both incidents and to see if the 2 incidents were related. At this time, there are no injuries reported and both fires have been contained. The Department of Health is advising people in the area to keep their windows closed and to stay inside to avoid exposure to the smoke. There is currently no estimate for when normal operations will resume, but passengers can expect lengthy delays for the rest of the day. New Yorkers in need of space to vent this week, reflect, or just feel a little less alone after last week's election found an unexpected outlet in a bustling subway tunnel. Thanks to the artist Matthew Chavez, thousands of New Yorkers poured out their feelings in the 14th Street subway station on colorful sticky notes in what's been affectionately dubbed a subway therapy project. Chavez held his first subway therapy session almost a decade ago after Donald Trump was elected in 2016. Chavez said that the project was not a direct response to the election of Donald Trump, but meant to be an outlet during a stressful time for people. Chavez is actively looking for more locations to keep the therapy going. That's it for today's show. Thank you for watching and have a great day, Seawolves.